Councilor Elliott.
Thank you, Your Worship, and certainly I want to echo a lot of my councilors' comments to everyone that's here today for staying 2:30 in the morning and bringing a lot of your comments and concerns, because I know I was sitting here at some point listening to some of the concerns, and there was a lot of great information that came out of it. I was actually wrestling myself with, the whole matter at hand. I thought back to when, this issue first came about, and honestly, I jumped on board in the beginning because it's for the hospital. Like, we need a new hospital, and I know a lot's been said about the location, the intensification, the density, a whole lot of that. And I mean, honestly, I'm on board with just getting a new hospital. I recall a close friend of mine some years ago, her and her husband lived in Kingston, and he worked in corrections, she worked in nursing, and they were there for about 15 years. They came back to Windsor to be with family, and she applied to the hospital system. And during the conversation, she told me it was like going from the future to the Stone Age in terms of, what our facilities look like. And she actually admitted to me she got depressed about it. So, she ended up working and took a job in dialysis. I have kids, I have grandkids. I know a lot of people do. Once again, fundamentally for me, it's about getting a new hospital. I can agree with a lot of you out there in terms of the location, because I know if I was at the table and I was asked, where would you like the location? Well, I know a great spot, in Ward 2 behind the Holiday Inn Select, where there's a whole bunch of land right out to the expressway. And that would have been my pick for sure, and I know a lot of folks would have their, favorite of where it could go. A good friend of mine was here speaking earlier, Jeff Williams. I went to his business about a month ago, and Jeff and I had our own debate about it. I said, Jeffrey, we're going to have it out in council, so how about you and I as friends, we have it out right now? And we did, man, and he brought a lot of legitimate concerns, in regards to the location and everything about it. And, one of the points that I keep hearing is the transportation point. I know Philippa has brought that out sometimes too. And I think if this hospital can be the catalyst to improving our regional transit, hopefully it will bring parties to the table, because I agree, man. I think there's going to be some logistical problems in terms of where the location is. I think that's going to be one that's going to have to get ironed out. And my community and where I live as far west as you can go in Ward 2. And I know there are people there that don't have cars or access to get to where the new hospital is being proposed. So I understand that. Is it a game changer in terms of, what I asked Jeff at the end of our whole debate? I said, okay, let me ask you a fundamental question, Jeff. I said, which would you prefer, if the hospital is going to be located where it's at, or we don't get it at all? And he said not to have it at all. So maybe for some, that's what they want. I'm not for that. I don't think of myself in terms of it. I think of kids and grandkids and even the region. It's proposed for, the county folks. Also, they have to pay their share towards it. So, I just, when I think about it, it's about getting a high-profile, state-of-the-art hospital, period. And is it going to be perfect in terms of a lot of things that I've heard tonight? I don't think so. I agree with a lot of that, what I heard today, but to not get it at all because, it's not going to be located where even myself or others think it should be is reason to, not support it. I can't. It's just that fundamental reason of, our hospitals are old, man. They're old, they're outdated. It's kind of reminds me of the old City Hall when we were having a conversation at council about this new building, and I had a couple friends come after me about it, and I said, listen, if you had to work in those conditions, because I've seen them, I said, if you want to know the conditions that people are working in, go to the old City Hall building. And here we have a facility that's going to be here for the next 50, 60 years. I'm not going to be here, so my time here is but short. So, I'm not as selfish to think, okay, this is for me and forever and ever. So, I kind of liken the hospital to that because, our hospital system is just outdated. I heard that time and time again, and I know that's the truth. I was born at Hotel Dieu in 1960, right? So, I remember in the very beginning when, we were first presented with all the information, and we were showed a map of the whole province with all the dots. There were like all these dots where all these mega hospitals were around around the region, and they were just like everywhere, right? There's so many dots around the province, and then you come down to Essex County, and there's like nothing. There was just like absolutely nothing. But the map presented like these hospitals everywhere around the province, right? And so why not Windsor Essex? Why not us? And I think it's time for us to have a state-of-the-art hospital. You know, uh, Fundamentally for me, and I'll keep going back, it's about having a hospital, a state-of-the-art hospital for our kids, our grandkids, and that's why I'll be supporting it. Thank you.